All right, I think YouTube's up too. Excuse me, guys. To discuss a blogging mistake that I see made quite often, and it's pretty damaging. It devastates your ability to scale. By scale, I'm talking about how to reach a lot of highly targetable. So scaling is basically leveraging, for all intents and purposes. It's reaching highly targeted readers, but in increasing amounts. So when you look at empires, they're masters of scale, empire builders, Google, Amazon, they're two of the most common. Facebook, come on, these are the scaling masters. But there's a blogging mistake related to online content, related to blog posts, that really damages bloggers' ability. They have the ability, but it kills it. And it's 100% based in the fear in the bloggers' minds that they project onto other people and onto the internet and onto the world. And when you do that, guys, when you blog from this deep fear in your mind, you're going to make a lot of mistakes and you're going to waste a lot of time. And there's so many bloggers out there with such immense potential, but they keep making this mistake, and it will kill your ability to really scale, to be out there, to be seen, to reach an exponential amount over the long haul of highly targeted bloggers. Scaling is so necessary to do this bit professionally, to really become successful at it. And here's the mistake, and I see a lot of bloggers make it, and I'm sharing this video to help you guys out so you stop making this mistake, because it's going to really hurt. And even if you've had a lot of worldly success, I commend you, and you still have this fear in your mind, but you're wasting your time and your energy by falling prey to the fear in your mind. And that's all that it is. This is the mistake, guys, and it's hurting your ability to scale. Even if you've been really successful, and I commend you if you have, you could be 10 times more successful if you just cut this out, or at least face the fear fueling the mistake. There are so many awesome bloggers out there that in their mind, they have a deep fear of their content being stolen. And then they come across, and it's sitting only in their mind. And then they come across bloggers who appear to be stealing their content. I get it. They appear to be stealing your content. No, they are stealing it. Okay, fine. They're stealing your content. So these people trigger the fear that's sitting in your mind, and then you waste precious seconds, minutes, hours over the long haul, hours. Cumulatively, it could be days, but even precious seconds and minutes, you waste that time trying to punish the people who triggered your fear of loss in your mind. Hey, Morse. Instead of spending those seconds, minutes, and hours helping your loyal, rabid fans who will help you succeed to epic levels by putting your content in front of their like-minded friends and fans and communities' eyes. Yeah, good to see you, brother. Happy late night to you, or early morning. I'm trying to think. Late night, early morning. It's so great to see you too, buddy. This kills your ability to leverage, guys, because when you start to get really good at blogging, people will take your content and post it on their site and try to push it off as their own. Oh, cool. I want to keep you up too late. Make sure you get your sleep. But thank you for joining. And of course, stick around. Hey. Stay on as long as you want. I'm not going to be on too long, buddy, too, because I got dinner coming up in a little bit. It's about 10 to 1 a.m. Yeah, it's about 10 to 7 p.m. here in New Jersey, aka New York City time. Spending some time with my family earlier today again. Kelly and I walked over to my dad's house. So it was cool. We actually did, because she was doing a short one right by my dad's house. So 10 minutes, walk right up the road. So I'm with my sister. So that was fun. Anyway, guys, the problem with this approach is as you become really skilled and really good at blogging, it becomes impossible to stop people from taking your content and copying it. Call it stealing your content. They take your content. It's going to happen. It's impossible to stop it. Unless you have a whole company and all these lawyers, you can't stop it, because for every one person you stop and try to punish or send them a threatening email, 5 more pop up. When you scale, when you really know what the deal is, it's impossible. One person will never do it. Stolen content. Exactly, Morris. That's the point. Please listen to them. I see a big difference between people who stress over stolen content and those who just focus on serving those who care about them. And the issue is, bro, that I'm trying to let people know, and obviously it's when they actually become aware of it in their mind. The only thing that's happening is that a person has a fear of loss, a fear of poverty in their mind. And we all have it to some level, I get it. But they have this one particular fear of poverty that's in their mind. And then when someone goes and reflects that fear back to them, stolen content, try to take content and say, that's my own. And it's reflected back to them. And then that person projects the fear onto the thief and the stealer, and they waste time and energy trying to punish this one person when they're 10, 100, 10,000, 50,000 loyal readers who desperately want their new content, not desperately, but love it, would be so much better served if you stop wasting time and energy trying to punish the one person and serve the 5,000 loyal readers. Because that's how you become successful, by helping people who really love what you do, because they'll grow your referral traffic and business and scale. That's how you become seen in all these spots. It's like me, I don't know, I've seen different sites say different things, but 40,000 backlinks, 45, whatever. Point to Blog Movement Paradise. It wasn't because I was trying to run around and punish everybody, the thieves who took my content. And you know why? I faced the fear in my mind of loss. And I'm like, this is going to happen. Any sane person knows once you scale, and by sane, I'm not trying to be insulting or use that in a pejorative term. I'm talking about sane, you're thinking from love and abundance, not fear and poverty and scarcity. Any sane person who doesn't have that fear in their mind, they understand that the more successful you become, it's impossible. You could have a company full of lawyers and they could just be, you can't keep up. We can't keep up. Somebody's going to come across my blog. I ran a search term for the blog. I just redid the blog post and republished today, how to blog as a busy student. The first, for a specific long tail key phrase, not the one I used exactly, that you ever do. Exactly, bro. There was a longer keyword. I changed the key phrase, not because I saw this, but there's a blog out there called, I think, Australian Paradise or something. And literally they took the content on my blog and they copied and pasted it, and they tried to copy and paste my thing. So it's like, who cares? I'm actually humbled and flattered by it. The weird thing was the links point right back to my blog, so it only benefits me other than the domain. It's very strange, but even if it pointed to their blog, and people do that all the time, I'm flattered, I'm humbled, and I'm like, I'm not afraid of them taking from me. We live in abundance. So I proceed and help the people who love what I do, who help me scale. And I realized too, once I conquered that fear of people stealing my content, taking my content, let's just say they copy and paste it. Exactly. They can't take your backlinks. They can't take your brand. They can't take your voice. They can't take your essence. They can't do any of that. That's on your domain. That's in your mind, guys. They can't really take anything. It's such a poor man's imitation. So when you conquer that fear, not only are you not afraid of it, you realize that it would never end, because you realize that people are going to keep taking your content. The more famous you become, the more popular you become. Let's say more popular. That's how it goes. So are you more afraid about people taking from you and it's just going to happen? Or are you more focused on the abundant mindset of helping people who will help you become more successful than you ever dreamed of? But most bloggers, they really don't scale because they're wasting so much time with this fear in their mind that they have to face, embrace, and release. That's the only way you overcome it, because you'll never be able to control the outside world. If you haven't figured that out yet, the ego is like, oh, I can control it. I could kill everyone who, not kill, but, kill their sites, take down their sites, send threatening letters. What? No, you can't. Because for every 10 people you find and try to punish, and you waste precious time that you should be using helping your loyal fans, guys. There's 50 more sites that are going to pop up, that are popping up right now, that already have your content out there that you don't even know about. So are you going to go try to chase them down? Those 50 other sites? You think you know them, but you don't. It's funny to see, because this is how the ego operates. It's amusing to me when bloggers try to say, man, it's these thieves and it's becoming a problem. And I always say nicely, and I love you guys. And if you've sent me any messages recently, I love you. You know, you see, all I do is help people all day long. But I also tell the truth. And the ego doesn't like the truth very much. It doesn't like the fact that you have to face this fear in your mind and not project it on them. Instead of trying to punish, it's like they're going to keep propagating. So eventually you're like, I better face this fear and listen to this guy and get rid of it, or else I'm going to waste so much time. And then you'll see, man, even if you've had success, and a lot of bloggers who haven't had a lot of worldly success, they're wondering why they can't scale. And it's because they're afraid of loss. So they're spending so much time and energy trying to prevent loss, then instead of gaining traffic and profits and loyal readers and people who love your blog so much, they will grow your referral traffic and referral business. Stupid, silly. Focus on them, guys. The only way to get through this is to face the fear in your own mind and say, Ryan's telling the truth. If you don't face the fear of poverty, and hey guys, I get it. Like, as far as money, I'm not clear on that. So if somebody was dipping into, a bank account or my savings account, I'm not going to be like, oh, just take it. I get that. But you have to stop it there. The most precious, cherished, worldly possession with money. And you got to stop there. Because once you get to, well, this is my livelihood, this is how I make money, you're going to get deeper and deeper into areas like running a website and trying to prevent content theft that are not even infinitesimally closely policed and safeguarded against as bank accounts. People's bank accounts on a worldly level of their livelihood, and these big banks that are trillions and trillions of dollars collectively, or whatever, that rule the world basically on the worldly level, not in your mind. Gotta see the difference. They're going to have so many safeguards and so many genius, brilliant programmers because there's trillions and trillions and quadrillions of dollars. But for content, for blog content, you don't have the same safeguards. That's called the world's reality. So accept it. And once you do, you'll say, why don't I just conquer the fear in my mind? And once you lose that fear by feeling it, facing it, feeling it, and releasing it, then it won't scare you anymore. Then you won't care. You'll be humbled. You'll be flattered. And you'll understand I could never control it anyway. Because for all the time you waste trying to track down stolen content from quote unquote thieves that, oh no, they are fine. Say that if you want. You're wasting time helping people that would help you become so much more successful, where you could really scale. And a lot of bloggers don't scale. They don't leverage. They're not known. And literally it's because of the fear in their mind that's preventing it. But then the fear of loss, the fear of poverty, but then they go and act out on it. And they're wasting time and energy trying to track down people who appear to be, in the universe of scarcity. And, oh, they took my content, and that's wasted time. And that's why they're not reaching a lot of people. Not only that, they're not reaching the right amount of targeted people who would grow their referral business. Trust me, guys, I've been doing this for 14 years. It becomes impossible to track down people to take your content when you're in a gazillion areas, unless you have a company. And even if you have a company, it's impossible because there's 600 million, 600 million sites online? Is there that much? Is there more? Like, come on, guys. How many pop up every day? You know how easy it is when you get to be well known and your content is I got 40,000 backlinks pointing to my blog. And that's just backlinks. Think of all the places my site's at. And that's not braggadocio. It's just how it is. How could I, in God's name, prevent new sites from popping up daily that see my content all over the place because I've put in a lot of work over the years and helped a lot of folks? How could I stop them from copying, pasting my content? I could look things up. But that's a waste of time. It's not wise, guys. And not only that, the only reason I've been able to scale is because I've let go that fear. I've faced it and I've said, I won't be able to control it. So why waste my time? Help. This will always be part of the game, part of the business. So just spend all your time and energy helping people who love what you do, and they'll keep growing things. And then, yeah, people will take it. It's part of the business. It's part of being an online entrepreneur. It's part of being a blogger. However, if you allow the ego to call the shots, which means fear, ego is fear. It's separation, division, loss, scarcity, poverty. And if you don't face that fear, you'll keep making the same mistake and you will never scale and you'll struggle because you're wasting time trying to hurt people who appear to be taking from you. Or let's say, taking your content, copying and pasting, instead of helping people who love what you do. Those are two totally different energies. One is love and abundance. One is fear and loss. One is service and fun, generosity. The other is poverty, scarcity, and holding back. So you're being stingy. This is not a very fun discussion to have with the ego. But once you look at it very straight, you're like, oh yeah, this makes zero sense. Why am I wasting all this time trying to punish people? It's impossible anyway. Why not help the people, help me become so much more successful? So yeah, people appear to be taking your content and trying to benefit in the work you put in. So for the illusion of loss and scarcity as part of the business that's happening over here, where you're like, okay, he appears to be taking everything up here. If you help your loyal, rabidly loyal fans, readers, customers, clients, that will keep increasing. So yeah, they'll take it and they'll benefit on some level, and you let it go, and this will keep going up. But when you're so scared about this, you waste all this time with these guys who are copying and pasting your content, and this doesn't go up, or it goes up like this much. Then you'll see bloggers who give all their time and have conquered the fear of scarcity and poverty as far as this bit, and their scale keeps going up and up and up, and they're seen everywhere, and they're seen everywhere. They don't waste time trying to prevent what's impossible to stop. And especially, bloggers that aren't companies, don't have lawyers and people that they hire to go, and some people do, they go that route. Hey, do whatever, guys. I'm just telling you, even with people who are helping you, forget attorneys, just Fiverr, whoever, you're wasting your time and resources because you can't keep up with hundreds of millions of websites and the 20 million. I don't even know how many pop up every day. How could you ever do that? Well, copy and paste Google. Yeah, but there's so many different clever ways, and you know how people are. Come on, you're a blogger. You've been online. Let it go by facing the fear in your mind. Because if you don't face the fear in your mind, you'll say, well, I can't do that. How could you? Oh, I can't do that. And it's, because you're afraid. You got to face the fear. Exactly, Morris. I learned not even the hard way, because in the beginning I was kind of flattered and humbled by it. I'm like, they're taking my content. In a lot of cases, it points right back to my site. That's what I always found odd. It's like they're just looking for content, even though they have a different domain. And then even if it doesn't, and they strip the links, I'm like, I don't care. Go ahead. I'm busy helping people. That's their quote unquote karma. That's their energy. That's their poverty, their loss. I'm not getting involved with that. I spent enough time getting involved with people who are having a tough time financially. It wasn't pretty during that time because you're wasting all this time trying to punish poor people. Yeah, that makes sense. Why not help abundant people? Why not help rich people, prospering people? And by that, guys, I just mean like moving into different circles. Like if you want to succeed and be prospering and abundant, help people who appreciate what you offer. And they have an abundance mindset, a rich mindset. They'll build your referral business, drive traffic to your blog, buy your stuff. Just deal with them. They love what you do. And don't even give your attention and energy by facing the fear of loss in your mind. Don't give it to people who are really so afraid of loss and living in such dire straits that they're outright taking your content, and ethically and morally, they know it's quote unquote wrong. They know it's not ethical. They know it's not moral. They know you created it, but they'll use any reason because they're so afraid of going broke and starving and dying and being homeless. And I'm not making fun of them. I've been there, folks. I know what that's like. I didn't take that route yet, as far as taking someone's content, but I would live some dark times myself over the years and some tough financial situations. And, I have empathy and compassion. So I just let them go. But I also understand that I couldn't control it anyway. Morris said it, the moment you post something online, just assume it's already being copied. And when you get really good at blogging, that exponential copying, copying your content at an exponential rate when it's in all these areas, that just takes off. Never be able to control it. Let it go. Part of the business. Once you conquer the fear in your mind, you won't project it on these people. Honest. Yeah, everything's in your mind. Really. There are no victims. It's all in your mind. It's all a projection. Once you get that down, you're unstoppable. And life's easy, let alone blogging. However, getting it down takes a lot of uncomfortable, I'll say eating mental shit sandwiches. I mean, you have to face your fear. You have to face your guilt, all this unconscious stuff, you got to do it. There's no other way around it. Once you do, you lose the fear of loss, and then you laugh at it. You come across it if you do, and you're like, whatever. And then usually don't even come across it that much because you're so busy helping people who love what you do. That will not come up in the quantum field. You will not see it with your quote unquote eyes. You will not come across it because you're so busy helping people love what you do. They'll keep growing your traffic and business, and everything's great because where your attention energy goes grows. So when you keep giving it to these folks, keep mirroring back to you, everything's cool. But when you have that fear, then that experience will be mirrored back to you in the quantum. And you'll come across folks. And I just thought it was cool because people have been asking me more recently. And I came across that today, Australian Paradise. I'm like, who cares? Fine, go ahead. And even if they link back to their own site, I'm like, I don't care. What are they going to take from me? My brand, my reputation? They don't even use the same domain. My face, my videos. Everybody who follows blog, even if people who don't follow Blogging from Paradise come across that, what are they going to think? Is that a trusted brand? Just from an energetic perspective, like, what are they going to do with that? Where is it going? You see why you have to conquer your fears, guys. If you don't, everything's going to go to custard, and you're not going to scale. That's the biggest problem with this. Not only lose your peace of mind, which is everything, you're not going to be out there actually reaching these huge groups of highly targeted people because energetically, you can't even get to that place because you're so afraid of loss. So someone who's that afraid of loss won't be the generous, detached, trusting, patient, persistent blogger who bees the blogger who does the things that actually really scale. You can't run ahead into abundance when you're chained down by poverty in your mind. You can't scale when you're afraid of losing any success you've had. Do you see what I mean? Do you see why logically this makes sense and you really want to think through trying to hunt down and punish people? You can't keep up. Or if you're able to keep up, if there's the illusion of that, that means that you're playing very small. So let's say 10 people online, or let's say 5 people online stealing your stuff. Guess what? You got a traffic problem. Think of what Morris said. The moment you post something online, just assume it's already being copied. So even if you're nailing most of the thieves and you have 3 people copying, you got a problem, pal. That number should be so much. And then when it gets to a certain point, you're like, I can't keep up. Do you see what I mean logically, why this makes perfect sense? And I know no blogger really talks about this, but this is one of those like really obvious common problems that even a lot of top bloggers still struggle with it because they have a deep fear of content poverty. And it's one of the blessings in that I've been so prolific over the years because I've really wanted to be generous and help you guys, that it helped me get totally over this fear of stuff being stolen because I'm like, I could never keep up anyway. And who cares? Assume that it's taken, as Morris said, and move forward and help people who love what you do. Then you won't care. And that's the secret to scale, success, being really more and more big time. And of course, it's always a targeted person. It's not about a numbers game, but it helps really good when you're helping a highly targeted group of people with, a scaling, leveraging campaign. So you grow exponentially. And of course, it's going to help your worldly success, but it's good. It's fun to help people, that people keep coming to you. Like, could you help me out here? I love your content. It's fun. It's fun. And it's only going to happen when you're not terrified to have your content stolen. You're not trying to hunt these people out. It's impossible anyway. The only way to get through it, guys, is to face the fear in your mind. Once you face the fear in your mind, you'll project. If you don't, you'll keep projecting and you'll keep hunting them down only because it's your fear being reflected back to you. Conquer the fear and you lose it. You're like, I don't care. We live in abundance. How are they going to take? And you see too, it's impossible to control. The system isn't set up that way. Who cares? Your generosity and your loyal, rabidly loyal tribe will take you to places you wouldn't even imagine. And that's how the deal is. That's how you really, really just love this game, blogging wise. And you'll succeed and you'll say, okay, whatever, once in a while, blue moon, or even if you come across a bunch of rampant, content piracy, whatever, theft, what do they call it? Like, all right, I'm not afraid of it. So I'm humbled. I'm frankly humbled and flattered. And again, I get it with money and bank accounts and investments financially. Not beyond that, but the world is designed how it is right now to be very stringent and very strict with that, make it very tough to steal someone's money in a bank account. And, as far as content, it's like, whatever. I get it leads to, on some level, it does attempt to lead to profits. But when you accept the fact that if you can conquer your fear, the fear of poverty in your mind when it comes to content poverty, I'll say that, fear of loss, then you'll be more and more successful than you ever dreamed of if you just accept that you can't control it and you focus on helping people love what you do. And think about those people who take it. What are they doing with it? How are they going to build a brand and money? Because you're thinking if they're taking meat, food off of your table. No, they're not. This is part of the game. Like, they're not getting anything. If they became a multimillionaire off your content, and even then we still live in abundance, but you have a little bit of an argument. But are you serious? That's why you have to build up your own brand too, guys. That's why it's important. Not that they're going to do that, but come on, build up your own brand. And they're struggling. They're failing. They're going to disappear quicker than you know. Call it karma. Really not karma. It's their own unconscious fear and guilt and poverty that will come back and bite them in their butt. Let them go. And you'll be a much more successful blogger and you'll have peace of mind. Morris says, this is a great message. Get me into a good state of mind. Got to go to bed now. Yeah, have a much appreciated, brother. Have a great week, my friend. And we'll chat soon. And thanks so much, everyone else, for joining. More fiery video tonight because it's causing a lot of scaling problems. I'm going to roll. See you later. Facebook dinner here for me. A little after 7 on the East Coast. Cha-cha. Ta-ta, Facebook. See you later, podcasting crowd. And later, skaters on YouTube. Joy Paradise all.